Hello friends, I'm Tiffany and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited because today is my birthday. Today I turn 30 years old, which is insane because I just don't feel like I'm 30 already. I can't believe that I've lived 30 years. It's insane. So if you didn't see my video yesterday, I talked a little bit about the things that were on my 30 before 30 list. And now that I'm officially 30 years old, I have a new list that I need to make. So I started making my 40 before 40 list, which is just crazy to even think about turning 40. I just can't even fathom right now. I am making a list. I'm currently in the midst of making the list, but I've started making the list, so I wanted to go ahead and share some of those things with you. If you didn't know, if you haven't watched my 30 before 30 video yet, basically I made a list of 30 things that I wanted to accomplish by the time that I turned 30. And as of today, hopefully if everything went well on my vacay, I have officially accomplished all 30 of those things. And so now that I'm 30 years old, I need to start working on my 40 before 40 list. So people say incredible things happen in your 30s, and I completely believe that. I'm always going back and forth between being excited and being nervous about turning 30, but overall I'm pretty excited because in my 30s I feel like I'm going to just blossom and become a better version of myself. In my 20s, I struggled a lot with my mental health, but I started going to therapy. I have made a lot of adjustments in my life. My life was very transient and continues to be, and so I'm just trying to go with the flow on all of that stuff, and so I just feel like I'm going to grow into myself in my 30s, and I'm super excited about that journey. So the full list of everything that's on my 40 before 40 list will be on my blog, and I will link that below. But for today, I'm just gonna share 10 things that are on my 40 before 40 list. Firstly, I want to travel to all 50 states. I have officially been to 25 states as of yesterday, so I'm already halfway there. So Kyle and I have been together for 2.5 years, and in that 2.5 years, we've traveled to 16 states together. And so since I've already been to 25 states total, I fully believe that within the next 10 years, I will be able to travel to the remaining 25 states. The next thing on my list is to go to the Philippines. For those who don't know, I am Filipino and Black, and I have never been to the Philippines before. Whenever I was younger, I lived in Japan, and that is the only place that I have ever been in Asia. And since I'm Filipino, of course I want to go to the Philippines. I have so much family there, so many people in my family that I haven't met yet, and so I would just love to go to the Philippines to just experience the culture for myself and just really hone in on my Filipino culture. The next thing on my list is to get married. So as I mentioned, Kyle and I have been together for 2.5 years, and we have already been talking about marriage. So it's not like, of course it's a huge deal, but it's not like a huge surprise that we are planning on getting married. And so of course I want that to happen before I turn 40. Another thing on my list is to pay off all my debt. I have a ton of student loans, which is really sad considering I am changing career paths. But you know, I got an education and I'm really proud of it, and I'm really proud of all that I accomplished in order to get that education. But unfortunately, it also came with a ton of debt. And so hopefully whenever I finally start my new career and get all that done, I will be able to start working on really paying off all of that debt. Something else on my list that is travel related is to get a stamp in my passport. I actually had my first passport whenever I was a baby. I was born in Germany, and then I moved to the US whenever I was 2 or 3. I'm not really sure how that timeline was. But I had my first passport whenever I was that young. And so now I have my second passport, but I haven't been able to get a stamp in it. So I actually worked on a cruise ship a few years ago, and so I've traveled to several different countries, but whenever you're on a cruise ship, you don't get any stamps in your passport, even though you visit all of those countries. And then recently, Kyle and I went to Canada, and for whatever reason, they didn't stamp our passport. And so I've been to all of these countries within the last few years, but I have not gotten a stamp in my new passport, and I am determined to get that crossed off my list within the next 10 years. Something else that's on my 40 before 40 list is to get my first job as a teacher. For those who don't know, I got my first degree in 2012 when I graduated with a business degree. But after Kyle and I moved here, I found a new passion for teaching whenever I worked at a daycare with 3 to 5 year olds. And so I decided to completely change my career path and go back to school. So I'm currently enrolled in school and I am set to graduate in December of next year. With that, with graduating, I want to obviously get a teaching job. So that is something that's on my radar, probably for 2021 after I graduate, but definitely something to do before I'm 40. So anyone that knows me will probably tell you that I've been obsessed with the idea of going to Australia for so long. It is #1 on my travel list, and it is something that I definitely want to do before I turn 40. Though snowboarding is also on my 40 before 40 list, and the reason I chose snowboarding over skiing is because Kyle knows how to snowboard. And so I have never done either. I've never done any kind of downhill snow related activity before. Well, besides sledding, kind of, not even an actual sled. But I would love to learn to snowboard, and hopefully Kyle will be there with me to not necessarily teach me. I should probably get an instructor, but to just help me out and be my support. Visiting an elephant sanctuary is something that I've been wanting to do for so long. I love elephants. They are my favorite animal. I'm super passionate about them, especially after reading Leaving Time by Jodi Picoult. I just love elephants so much. Seeing the Northern Lights would be a dream. I mean, pictures make them look gorgeous, but I can only imagine what they look like in real life. So I would love, love, love to see the Northern Lights in person. So those are 10 of the things that are on my 40 before 40 list. And again, I will have the full list on my blog, and I will link that below for you guys to check out. And if you have a 40 before 40 list, or a 30 before 30, or a 20 before 20, or just any kind of goals you have, I would love to hear about them. So leave those in the comments below and give me some inspiration for my own list, because I'm always working on goal lists literally all the time. So thank y'all so much for watching. I really hope you liked this video, and if you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button to get those notifications. And I will see y'all tomorrow for another day of Vlogmas. Bye!